You know, Red Bear, I'm particularly excited about today's KidTime StoryTime.
Why?
Because I know Veronica Nagorny.
What? You know the author of this book?
Yeah, well, I mean, kind of.
What do you mean, kind of? Has she had you over for dinner?
Well, we've talked on Instagram.
You mean that social network with photos?
Yeah.
Huh. I gotta get me one of those.
Wait, the story, wait.
Well, while they're talking about social networking, we're going to talk about the Picky Chicky! And it's true, Veronica is our friend. We met on the Instagram and she sent us this book to read to you, Picky Chicky. That's right, I called you Picky Chicky! Nikki the chicken was sitting on the floor in her room. She was in a very grumpy mood. I wonder why. She crossed her wings across her chest and humphed.
I'm hungry.
Okay, alright. That's how I feel every single morning, Picky Chicky. Her tummy was a rumble and her thoughts began to jumble. She couldn't think of anything that sounded good to eat. As you can see, Nikki is a very picky chicken.
You know, I already relate to this story.
Oh, how is that, Red Bear?
Well, I'm pretty picky, but actually I prefer the word discerning.
Okay. Can you move your head?
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Okay, keep reading.
Nikki's tummy roared like a fierce beast. So she decided to pull herself away from her toys and games and set out in search for some good food to fill her hungry, grumpy self. Hungry and grumpy? I believe the new term is hangry. Moving on. She searched the shelves, prodded the pantry, researched the refrigerator, but everything she found was the same old icky everyday food she was bored of eating. Nikki furrowed her brow and crossed her arms once more. She let out a mighty sigh. I'm so hungry, she complained, but not for this. Ugh. So hard to be picky and hungry and hangry and Nikki decided to venture outside to see what food she could find. She stepped and strolled and stepped some more until she grew tired and leaned against the fence to rest. Of course she's tired. She has no food in her for energy. Suddenly, there came a soft meow from Nikki's left. This is her left. She turned and saw a fluffy black cat with a bright smile walking atop the fence towards her. I wonder what this black cat could want. The cat was carrying something in her mouth and dropped it on the fence post as she neared Nikki. It was a juicy fish. Nikki was confused, but then she realized that the cat was trying to share with her. For me? She asked. The cat meowed in response. Nikki humphed. I'm hungry, she grumped, but not for that. Oh, how rude. She picked herself up off the fence and continued on her way, wings crossed, huffing under her breath. The cat watched on in sadness. She had just wanted to share her treat, but this grumpy, picky Chicky didn't like it. Oh, rejected. Nikki stomped, didn't even walk, stomped along the path until she came to a crystal clear, sparkling lake. There were large rocks lying around the shore, and she walked over to one and sat on top and surveyed her surroundings. Just then, there came a slurping sound from the bushes to her left. Cautiously, Nikki arose from her seat and tiptoed over to the source of the sound. She peered over the bushes and saw a big brown bear sitting on the grass licking away at a forgotten beehive. Well, his paw was coated in a layer of sticky, sweet honey. If Winnie the Pooh saw that, he'd be all over his case. Now, Nikki took a step backwards, but there was a twig under her foot and it snapped loudly. The bear's head jerked up and he made eye contact with Nikki. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? She began to panic, but her tummy rumbled. He smiled at her. Oh, that's nice. It's a nice bear. And he set the beehive down. And with his nose, he tapped it in her direction, then looked at her again. He was also offering to share his tasty treat with the grumpy, hungry chicken. But, oh no. She looked at the bear, furrowed her brow, crossed her arms, and said, I'm I'm hungry, but not for that. Oh, not again. Nobody taught Nikki any manners whatsoever. As she stomped, of course, madly, of course, away, the bear's ears sagged a little. He was upset. This little picky Chicky did not want to share his honey. He was just trying to be a good friend. Yes, he was. The picky chicken grumped through the woods, stepping over logs and avoiding suspicious plants every step of her way. She was very tired and couldn't wait to find something worth eating. Oh. As she crunched over some leaves, crunch, 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 she heard a faint squeak, 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 squeak coming from within a tree. She listened carefully and followed the sound, bent down and saw a hole at the bottom of the grand old tree and peered inside. And ta-da! There was an entire mouse family inside who seemed to be sharing a hunk of cheese. Ooh, looks like my favorite Swiss cheese, unless those are just bite marks, in which case it's not my favorite. As they looked at Nikki, her tummy gave its fiercest rumble yet. The mice fell back slightly in alarm at the enormous noise, as would I. The largest mouse picked up the cheese, walked out of the hole, and set it on the ground in front of Nikki. Not only is this mouse obviously kind, but also quite brave after hearing that horrible sound emanating from the chick's stomach. They were willing to give all they had, to help the hungry chicken. But you know what she did. All she did was cross her wings and grump, "I'm hungry, but not for that." The mice looked at one another, shrugged, and brought the cheese back inside as Nikki, the picky chicken, walked away, moaning and groaning about how she was ever so hungry. Oh my goodness.
Why does she keep complaining? She keeps saying no and rejecting everybody's kind offer of food. For example,
Yes,
that honey looked really good.
I would agree. She walked for what seemed like days until, what? Her nose caught wind of a lovely smell. Oh, what have we here? It was the most appetizing thing that had ever danced across her senses in forever. Forever is probably like since yesterday. Tongue hanging out, she mustered up the last bit of energy she had and ran towards the source. "But that's my house!" she exclaimed. Oh, and a pretty house it is, too. Much nicer than the average chicken house, I must say. She walked in the house, and there was her beautiful chicken mother. Working away in the kitchen, preparing a delicious lunch. Her mom heard the door open and turned around smiling and wiped her hands on her apron. "Hi, Nikki, my little chickie. I've made all of your favorite foods for lunch." Nikki's eyes gazed over the table at the gorgeous buffet set out in front of her. Her eyes began to fill with tears as she realized how lucky she was and how poorly she had acted. She ran over and cried into her mother. "I've been so selfish, Mama. All along I had this great food at home, but I wanted more. And all the forest friends were willing to share with me, and I was rude to them." Don't be picky, little chickie. Now learn to appreciate what you have. Now eat your lunch and go bring some extras to your forest friends for an apology picnic. An apology picnic makes everything better. And that's exactly what Nikki, the ex-picky chickie, did. And look at that. There's the black cat. There's a little mouse. And there's the honey bear. And there's Nikki, the reformed ex-picky chickie. And that was our brand new story from our brand new friend from Instagram, a brand new hot author,
Veronica Nagorny. Gosh, she's so funny, and I love her chicken pictures and her duck pictures that I see all the time.
Yeah, I was checking it out.
And
She's got some pretty cool pictures. But I would like to request bears. Bear pictures. Enough with the chickens. I want bears, preferably red bears.
oh yeah, that'd be a good idea. Maybe a dinosaur, maybe a green dinosaur. Yeah. I mean, I'm not picky.
No, we're not picky. We're not picky like Picky Chicky. But, yeah, red bear.
Yeah, green dinosaur. Slightly insecure. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
Yes, from